Good morning and welcome to Nana's Good and Grab Corner on these short live streams showing you how to do sourdough starter. And I'm happy today. It's very finicky. Some days you're gonna have good, bad. That's why you're looking for. You need to do it at least 7 days. Could be up to 2 weeks longer. That it has to rise every single day for the next 2 to 3 days in a row. So that's what you're looking for. You need to have it. So I'm happy to say this is my starter. And that's the level where I always tell you to put the tape. And it's almost doubled in size. You can see it's here and the top is here. I'm going to show you on camera. Good morning, Kristen. Look at this. It's starting to look really nice. You can see, let's go right here. You can see the bubbly it has. It's all bubbly. The smell, it's getting to be a little yeasty. It won't always smell like yeast, but so don't just throw it away. I only threw it away yesterday because it had stuff like brown and I didn't like it. Or if you start to see that, liquid forms at the top of up here, it means it's hungry and it's normally alcohol at the top of it. So that I kind of dump that out and get rid of that. Hi, MT. Good morning. So I just want a good show of what it looks like today, which looks awesome. It's looking pretty good. So we'll keep watching it. Like I said, right today, it smells like it's starting to smell a light yeasty smell, which that's what it should smell like yeast. But it could be a touch of alcohol. Sometimes it smells like yeast, and sometimes it goes on the side of smelling like an alcohol smell. That is to make sure. And I know Misha's not here, but Misha, I'm calling you out there because I just want you to know that you're not doing anything wrong. You're doing everything good. Will it have days where it doesn't smell 100% like yeast? Yes, it does that. But right now that looks good. If it's starting to smell like yeast, it's bubbling up. That is looking good. And it's going to become very sticky too. When it gets to the right consistency, it'll be kind of sticky, more stickier than it is now. So what did I want to say? Got everything said. Oh yeah, because you're feeding it is because it's the enzymes that eat the sugar and enzymes in that it needs to be fed. That's what it lives off of, the bacteria and stuff. So that's why you got to do it every 12 hours. And if it's craving it and before the 12 hours, like I said, you're going to you'll see it. Liquid will float to the top. You just dump that in the garbage, get rid of it. And then just take your discard out. Don't keep it if it has the liquid in it. I wouldn't. But if it looks healthy like that, which last night it looked pretty healthy. And so I already started, let's open this camera up a little more. I already started my discard last night. Right here. Now this was 50. Now we're going to start going into 100. And the reason you need to, hi Rachel, good morning. The reason you need to get rid of that much now, because you'd have way too much starter and it makes a healthier starter. So sourdough starter, if you keep it down to 50 grams, give or take, it worked well for me. Now different people will do different amounts and stuff, but this system, I'm trying to do every live stream every day to show you how simple and make it really simple and easy for you. So I'm going to get started. Okay. We are going to first start out like normal with the discard. I'm going to put the calculator here and I'm going to make sure the bowl is set at 0. So there's no weight for that. Right. And now we're going to discard 100 grams today, not 50. And I wrote the notes up top. So look, it's all nice and fluffy. I could even stir this at this point because it's really nice. See, it'll get stickier than this, but okay. So we're going to go and do 100 grams of discard. So we're at 68, give or take. I was going to say about 100. All right, we're at 91. There we go. Oh, I'm picky. I put it back in there. I'd rather have just enough there. So it's 100 grams, and that's what I got left in here. All right, so we're going to leave that alone. I'm going to put this over here to put in my discard jar, which is right here. Now we're going to go feed it right now. So let's reset the whole thing to 0. Now this is water, which I've said left overnight. So all the fluorine, chlorine disappears, like it just evaporates. And that's what you want. Or you want lukewarm water. Let's say you forgot to do it. You could put lukewarm water instead. So I'm going to put 50 grams. Oh, it's dripping a little bit. We'll clean it up after. Hang on a minute. Let me just get a little napkin here. Yeah. All right. So we're going to go 50 grams. What do you think of that? You going to do a sourdough starter, or do you already have one, Rachel? Does that interest you? Okay, I just 49, 50. Perfect. Even if I go off one, as long as I match the flour, that's how I do it. Okay, so now we're going to reset that to 0. And I'm going to put the flour in next. Now that's not too bad feeding it. And you should have a watch. I have my phone, and every 12 hours. So it's 10 o'clock now, and then I'll feed it 10 tonight. But I have my phone set to set an alarm so that it knows, okay, you got to go feed it. Because you don't want to leave the starter at this point. You got to feed it. Oh, 50 right on. Wow, I don't think I've ever been doing that. I don't think I've ever did 50 right on. That's amazing to me. 50. Okay, so we're going to take that out of the way. And I am going to mix it all nice. See, even drips on the side. I'm trying to keep this jar clean. So we're going to mix it, mix it, mix it. So you see how ugly it looks. Now it smells like, it won't smell like yeast. It smells like flour until later on when it sits. And later on by 10 o'clock tonight, it'll start smelling like a yeast smell because it's starting to eat all the sugars and the enzymes. Got any questions, anybody? Thank you for the thumbs up, whoever gave it to me. Anybody got questions? And if you're interested, I've labeled it every single day. They're short live streams, and I got every day from day 1. Today is day 4. So day 1 and 2 were combined because day 2, you leave it alone and you don't touch it. And then day 3, you start to feed it. And then you go, now this is day 4. And I will come on. I'll try to come on every morning, but I'm going to be basically doing the same thing right now, is feeding it. But I'll come back and show you because the starter does sometimes change. The smell changes. If it's hungry, it'll show a liquid on top. So we'll see what happens. But I have to do this. You got to do it, I would say, at least a good 7 days to make a very strong starter. That's what I did, and my starter is really good, the one in the fridge. And I made with the discard. I made some. There's a live stream where I made the blueberry muffins. Those are really good. Honestly, I'll take them out of the freezer if I got a second here. All right, let's stir. Making sure there's no flour. You want it all mixed really well. And you want to clean the jar out as you go because it's hard to see in there and it all becomes really gucky. Hey, Bill. Good morning. Look pretty good. I'm going to take clean this off. Take the towel. Clean it off. It will create a coating, you'll see. It will. You can't clean it, but I don't want to add any more water. So just take a dry paper towel and try to keep it clean on the edges. That's what I did anyways, but it will build up. Okay. So that's pretty good. See, now I'm, that was that quick. I fed it, forget it. And I'm also going to make sure that this, I'll do this too, lines up. Because sometimes the level might change. So you're just going to put it to level. All right. And then I'll know as soon as it goes past here, up here, then it's risen. So it almost risen double from the last feeding since 10 o'clock at night. So that's going to go in the microwave, and I'm done with that. Which, for the other live streams I showed you, I put it in my microwave, which is above the stove. All right, and that's what the discard looks like, which is really a happy discard. Look at what it looks like. It's almost like a starter. It's nice. It's got bubbly. You can see it. So I'm just going to put that in this jar, and then this goes in the fridge. You still excited about making the starter? All right, and we got Misha has been making it too. And if anybody wants to start, come on in and you got questions, I'll show you how to do it, because it was very complicated depending on who you watch. And I'm trying to make it really easy and explain this. All right. Now this one's going in my fridge. I don't put the lid too tight because I hate to tell you, this stuff will even expand. What happened was I had it up here and the whole lid actually popped off. If I made in a good recipe. Oh, cool. You got to find some good. I'm going to be doing crackers next time, Bill. That's what I want to try with it. But I know, matter of fact, you've seen these already. But for those of you like Rachel who hasn't, if you're still here, Rachel and Kristen, let me show you. I'm going to take them out. I've been eating like crazy. I'm supposed to be losing weight, but I enjoy this stuff. So here they are. Look, you can freeze them. You freeze them, and they freeze really nice, and they taste. I can eat them right like this, right out of the freezer. I eat them, and they're really, really delicious. So this is one recipe that gives a thumbs up for me. Right there, that's what they look like, and they're delicious. So that recipe was a live stream I did. I want to make all kinds of stuff with the discard so you don't waste it. And the next one, I'm going to fool around with some crackers. I want to make crackers. And Bill fooled around with it. But the thing is, you were a little early to use it yet, Bill, because I don't know if you must have fed it ahead. You must have fed it ahead because technically you should be waiting to use the discard for a little bit, like I was doing. You don't normally do it right away. You do it when I started feeding it day 3, that's when you can start using the discard. Yeah, you shouldn't use it right away because you want the starter to build up. You want it stronger. So you got to feed it. The first day, well, I'm glad it worked. I'm happy that it worked good, but you're not supposed to use it right away. You're supposed to, that's what I wanted to explain to you now that I got you here. You're supposed to wait a little bit. Like day 1 and 2, day 1, I showed you how to make the starter. Day 2, you just sit, you put it in a warm place, do not touch it, and leave it alone. Day 3, then you're going to start feeding it, which I did. And then now you feed it again. Now remember that today is 100 grams, not 50, because if you keep doing only 50, you're going to have a ton of starter, and that's going to loosen the strength of the starter. So you have to go, you start out with 50, then you did the 250s to make 150. Now you're going to start getting rid of 100. So you're going to, you'll have a lot. That's why you're going to have a lot of discard. So every time you feed it, you will have 200 grams of discard every single day. And the first day, the reason I didn't keep it is I didn't like it. So if there's anything funny with your discard, don't keep it. Make sure it smells okay. It's nice and bubbly, like I showed you. So this is for 2 days right now. Like that's for 10 o'clock feeding last night and this morning. So I had a 50 and 100, and this jar is going to fill up in no time. Trust me, you probably need another jar. But yeah, because you got to strengthen the starter. And once you get the starter strengthened, and you feed it then it's ongoing, and it's going to be really nice starter. Now the discard can be used so many things, as Bill found out. Mine was no, because it can smell like alcohol. If you do not, let's say your starter's hungry, and you have thing of liquid, that's alcohol. You have to dump the alcohol out and then clean that up. Normally people don't keep that one with the alcohol. Dump the first out and then feed it again. So if it has the liquid alcohol, I wouldn't keep it because you're gonna have a really strong alcohol taste into your discard. Anyways, I'm putting these back in the freezer. So, and mine smells really good, but yesterday didn't smell that good. And you're going to have days where it goes up and down. You're going to be happy because you did a really good starter and that was great. Mine didn't start out that way. Everybody's is different. That's right. And that's exactly what it should smell. Mine smells like yeast, but it might drop and not every day. It all depends. You were lucky to have it the first day. Well, I should say the third day, second day, third day to smell nice, but it doesn't always. It'll go up and down. That's what happens, Bill. It'll do that. It'll go up and down. That's just the way it is. You have to wait till it means it's not strong enough, your starter. You're going to have to leave it alone. Do the discard. If the discard's nice, use whatever you want. But the starter, leave it alone. Just like 12 hours, right? Like I said, discard, feed it. Leave it alone. Discard, feed it. You're going to do this over several days, like 7 days. And it has to rise every single day. If it doesn't rise every day for 2 to 3 days in a row, it's not a strong enough starter. Yeah. So you gotta, like, it's fine to do some recipes with the discard, but just the starter, don't touch that yet. It's too soon. That's my advice to you. I don't want to stay too much longer here, guys, because I don't want to keep everybody. But is there any questions that you got? Misha leaves questions on there, and I try to answer them. So if there's anything you think about Bill or anybody else, please, feel free to ask me. Bill, I should have you. Was it that difficult so far? I've made it really simple. If you go to other channels and stuff, they're very complicated, some of the way they're explaining things. And I've made it as easy as I could without trying to over-educate you guys on all the way the chemicals and everything else that does, where I'm just making you basic. This is what the weight and everything else. Yeah, I've made it really, really easy. I feel that way. And it was very complicated when I was learning it. Explaining it, but she did the best she could. She was awesome with me. And then I watched video channels and they're very confusing to me too. Still, even after doing what I did, I find some of them very confusing. So anyways, if there's no more questions, guys, and here, I'm going to put this, I'm going to leave this because I'm going to put this in the fridge right now, my starter. But for Mish, who's not here, Mish, I want to show you what, I'll give you a close up of what my discard looks like. See? Can you see it? It's liquidy. It's not always liquidy. It's going to get really sticky after, but it is bubbly. I smell it. You smell a touch of yeast in here, and that's what you want to see for a starter too. That's what the starter looks like. And now I can start using this on anything I want, but you have to, this is only right now, maybe it's not even a cup. It's probably 3/4 of a cup. And most starters, most of the recipes are going to ask you for at least a half a cup to a cup or more, depending what you're making. So I don't have enough yet, but I have lots in the fridge, so I can try to use that up. So anyways, I'm going to move that to the fridge, and I'm probably going to get off very shortly because I didn't want these live streams being too long. So if there's no questions, guys, and I guess a quick one again, if you notice, I'm always using paper towels to wipe everything. So make sure you use paper towels to wipe things. You don't want to wreck your sink, which I learned after doing it so much times. It was very hard on the sink, but I'm very cautious now of cleaning everything with paper towels after. All right, guys, if there's no more questions, I thank you very much and have a wonderful day, guys. Thanks for coming and listening to me. Have a great morning. MT, Rachel, Kristen, if you're still there, and Bill, I'll see you tomorrow morning, okay? We'll do it again. We'll keep doing it until people are very comfortable to show you what my starter looks like. So I'll see you tomorrow morning. Take care.